Hello again, YouTube. Welcome to another video for our garden series channel. We came back from vacation and our grass was overgrown and we had to come out here and weed whack and mow, and then it rained a few more times and started to grow back again. It's a vicious cycle out here, how fast the grass grows. I wanted to do a quick garden update video for you. Well, quick, I always say that, but it always ends up being a long time. We'll see how fast it goes. Alright. Purple sweet potatoes in the totes here. I weed whacked around them so they're not along the bottom edges here, which is fine because the sweet potatoes grow underground. They don't need the vines anyway, and the vines just take away from the energy of the potatoes. I'm sorry, I got mosquitoes flying at me. Our burn pile, we weed whacked some of this stuff down, and we're actually going to weed whack a few more of the tall things down, let them dry for a couple days, and light that sucker on fire. That's right, make a big old bonfire. We burn all of our legal paperwork and stuff like that. Anything that has our name on it, we never take that to the dump. We burn everything. Over here we got our salad totes that are going to seed, so we're happy for that. We have on the outer fence here, we had some cucumbers, and they are still growing. So you can see some cucumbers growing there. There's a little baby one right here. There's another baby one here. These ones here, I don't know why it always looks like this, but the sun just kills these plants over here. Got a tomato plant that's leaning up against the fence here. We had some bitter melon that started to grow on its own, and then it died because I believe it was actually in between the fence and the brick, and when I weed whacked out here I killed the plant, which is not a problem because we didn't plant the plant, it just grew on its own. We weeded around the asparagus, and this is the asparagus. We're actually going to be building a box around this within the next couple days. We're actually going to do it this year. This is our strawberry patches. I don't know if anybody else's strawberry patches look like this. Apparently strawberries only last like 3 years. I had no idea about that, but yeah, these are burned up, dyed up, whatever they did. So we're gonna, while we have the chance, we're gonna build the box, frame it in nice, get some good soil going in there, and have them growing again. This one here has some newer plants because we had transplanted some of the plants over to this area here, so that's why there's still some green ones in here. These ones have only been a couple years, so that should go good. We should be able to transplant some of these ones into both boxes. Plus my brother has a bunch in his strawberry patch, so we may, see if we can get a couple more plants from him and start another batch. We'll see how that works out. More potatoes, sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes, that's where the vines are. This is our artichoke plants. They die back, but then they're growing new ones next to them. Like I said, this one's dying back and it grows next to it. This is a big one here. There's not another one growing next to it. We were told that this was like an annual plant. So it grows and it produces and then it dies back and then it comes back. But I don't know if that's going to come back. It doesn't look like it to me. But we'll see. Here's another favorite for out here in this particular area. If you can recognize these little babies. Most people do. We've got the 2 plants growing here. They grow really nice. Instead of using some of the baskets, because these ones, you can see the stalks on these are huge, we're actually using one of our canopies to hold this one up, just in case it needed to have a more rigid stability until it got this big. But these are growing nice. We got our little blueberry plants here. No real blueberries to speak of for this year because this is only like the second year, so it takes a little while to produce them, to get them growing. We do have some melons on the ground here. I want to show you those before I step all over them. Fig tree, figs, we have figs. You can see them on there. When we get to the outer ones, I'll look there too and see if we have any figs, but there's figs all over this bad boy. And this is a different breed. We have like 3 different types of figs, so the sizes of the figs are going to be different. This is our grape trellis, as you can see here. we have like these aphid bugs or something that eat the heck out of all of these leaves. But we did get most of the grapes off of here. My wife loves these grapes. It's more of an Asian type of a grape, apparently. Not what I had anticipated, which was big, juicy, green, seedless grapes. What we got is this one here, which is a Niagara grape. And it did not say seedless, so I am not really thrilled with it. I thought it was a big, juicy grape. Green grape, and that's why we built this. And it grew really nice this year. Wow, it grew, and it is super happy. My wife wants to keep it. I want to rip it out of the ground and put the right grape one in there. We'll see who wins the battle. Then down here we got the purple grape, and it started growing this year. We planted it, and it's already got a good stalk started here, and it's climbing out through the fence, and it actually grew through the eyelet hole here, so we're going to have to pull that out of there when we cut it back for the season, because it can't grow through there. It's got to go up through the wire, and we have to wire it or string it to it. This was our first batch of corn. For some reason, this is just dying and dying. Don't know what happened to it, but we're just going to let it die. It'll draw in some deer and stuff. Out here is our peach tree. Mrs. Peach right here. She looks nice and healthy. She had some peaches on her earlier in the season. We let them die on the vine, and hopefully they'll grow some next year. I heard it takes a couple of seasons to get them in there good. This whole area, we had our melons and stuff like that. They grew. We picked them, and like I said, we went on vacation, and we got weeds in here that grew this tall. It is horrible, horrible, horrible. We have weed whacked this area down one time already, and we're probably going to have to, I'm going to finish weed whacking it down, and then probably come in here and rototill this area up to get most of the other parts out, because it is really super thick, and I'm worried it's going to choke out some of the other stuff that we have in here. But I digress. All right, back to the actual plants. All right, we have some different peppers here. You can see them growing here. Green peppers, bell peppers, I should say. And tomatoes. You can see some of our cool little tomatoes in here. These are some really tasty tomatoes. We have our jalapenos. Yay, jalapenos. These things are growing real nice. A lot of them are turning red on this particular type that we got. These are the plants that I originally bought for my brother Pirate had me buy for him, and I bought so many of them he gave me 3 of the plants. So it didn't cost me anything up front except for the headaches from my wife, but she has been feeding them and watering them, even though she said she wouldn't, and we have successfully grown more jalapenos this year. We haven't made any hot sauces or anything out of them this year, but we have picked them and sold like little 1 to 2 pound bags of these at the flea market when we're out there selling stuff for our side business, and people buy them up, so it's great. This is the big tomato plant here. We love these. These are so good. They're tiny little grape type tomatoes. Taste awesome. We've got several plants of these. Our tomatoes are doing really good this season, which is nice. You can see we got tomatoes growing all through here. A few of them we're getting, unfortunately, grab that guy off. You can see we get some ringhorn worms laying their eggs in there, and then the babies come out, eat their way out, and tear up my plant. So we have melons growing everywhere here. They're just vining out from the plants. You can see here melon squashes. You can see these big squashes here, and they're all in here amongst all of these plants, which you guys should all recognize as like a snow pea. These plants here, all snow peas, all got a lot of snow peas on them. We'll be coming out here in the next couple days picking these as well. We've got more tomatoes growing there. Big tomatoes on the end. More cucumbers growing on the fence. Those are just tall weeds. Here's some other squashes. can see an orange one over there. Can't quite get to it. Nice squashes. These are the pride of my wife for this year. Her eggplants. We have all of these cute little eggplants growing out here. She has been making so many different things with eggplants. We've got like 6 plants of them here. She loves them. They're not super big, but they don't have to be super big. You know, I mean ginormous as far as the size of your hands or anything like that. We just have to pick them at the right time so that the taste of them is just right. Now this one here is getting, let me get all the bugs off, is getting to be in a good size. It may double this size. It could be just half more again this size. What you're looking for is when it gets, right now it's a little bit of dull. It'll actually be a shiny complexion right before it starts to split, and then that's when you know it's time to pick them. And they taste so good in all the different things my wife's making. Down here, more squashes. You can see them down in here. They're growing everywhere. We have some other starter plants under these baskets here. More squashes, pumpkins, and other types of squashes. Back over here, we have string beans. And string beans, let me show you some of the string beans. They do have string beans on them. There's our string beans. My wife comes out here and picks these daily for the larger ones as well. All string beans, string beans, string beans, string beans. A bunch of those. We eat them in our salads, or she just steams them for me because that's the way I like them. A few more over here. And then this is our second batch of corn. We had the other corn on the other side. Now we're growing some over here. Hopefully it'll draw the deer in because this is the same side of the garden that's along this fence, and I put our deer corn out on the ground out over here by this tree line because the deer come from behind the trees, and they come out here to get the deer corn I sprinkle on the ground. So this may draw them in too. So that'll be nice because September 15th starts deer hunting season. Yay! That's a plus. All right, anyway, nice little corns growing in here, getting to be a good size, good sturdy plants over on this side. On the other side, they weren't sturdy for some reason. These are nice and sturdy. Plus, they're like it's growing a corn on top of a corn on top of a corn. More corn down here. These are just happier plants. This one here, it has like 3 corns on it. Now they say that when the tops get brown like this, the corn's done, but then that would be a super tiny corn, and it may be that these corns are not going to produce and become as big as they're supposed to this season because of the heat that we've had and the lack of the water. We could water these things, and then within an hour, because of the humidity, it'll be super bone dry out here. It's crazy. But we're expecting some rainstorms coming in. They say tonight. As you can see, yeah, it's a nice, beautiful day. So if the rain's coming, it's gonna sneak up on us. But we'll see on that. In here we have other lettuces, broccolis, red leaf lettuce, and other salad making stuff. There's also, I don't know if you can see it just over here, there's a turnip in there. And let's go around to the other side. And we got more tomatoes, and more tomatoes, and more tomatoes. And these are big plants. I mean, these are getting to be pretty tall. Another tomato. My wife is really happy with the tomato production here, which is good for us because we're making salsas and stuff as well. I think we're having salad for dinner tonight even, so that is even better. But you can see we get all these grape size tomatoes here, and nice grape size ones here. Got to constantly come out here and get the green ringhorn worms off of these. You can see all these areas here where the leaves are gone. That means that somewhere on this plant is at least 1, if not 2, greenhorn worms eating away at the leaves on these. And then it probably has laid some eggs, and there's some babies on the plant here as well. But it's still producing tomatoes, so we're gonna let her go and let her rip. Like I said, if we find the worms, we pull them off and execute them. And if we don't, then because the vines run from one plant to the next plant, the critters can get from one to the next, but we have to hang them on each other because they get so heavy. I mean, we've even doubled up some of these cages to get them higher, and it still doesn't help. They just get heavier plants. We have pretty much every plant has at least 2 sticks on them to hold them up because of the weight of the fruit, which is awesome. That's a good problem to have. Like I said, here's another one. It just fell up against the fence and is leaning there, still growing tomatoes. And over here, we still have some of our white onions here. We've got other melons, and well, melons are here, and then we've got more where the purple flowers are at are the purple sweet potatoes. And then there's purple sweet potatoes all through here. We're trying some outside of the totes as well to see if the moles and stuff get to them here. So that's why all these ones are in here, more potatoes and sweet potatoes. We still have our white onions there, our purple onions here, and then we got rid of all of our green onion tops in this area, and we moved those over into our flower bed that's outside the master bedroom. They just seem to like that area better. Let me run out as our last thing. We do have a date tree. I know I've kept showing you that. No dates on it still. I don't understand why. We'll have to find out. This is where our wild blackberries grow throughout all this. There's also dewberry here. If you've never experienced dewberry, you really aren't missing much. It is a prickly, viney, stupid plant that I don't know why it was ever invented. This is our other fig tree area. And there are figs on this tree as well as the next two. There's plenty of figs. Let me see if I can zoom in on all the figs that are on these ones here. You can see all the figs there, and there's a bunch of them on there. And we are getting from these 3 trees, whatever they would be, probably trees, that we're getting at least 2 to 3 figs that my wife eats a day. So when she's out here doing her gardening, she comes over here, picks a couple of figs and eats them. They are so delicious. They really are. And you know, don't even have to be in a Newton form. It's just great. But as you can see, all of these tree things here, my wife, we had some trees cut down. My wife had dragged them over here and laid them out because she's trying to keep the weeds from growing up in this area. Now we are this close to the wilderness, and she's trying to keep the wilderness from coming in and impeding on her plants. Well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to end up bush hogging a lot of this area back again. But now I've got all of these trees that she's hoping are just going to break down and turn into mulch and keep all the weeds down. It really hasn't, because I had to run the mower through here, and then she moved the trees back just so that we could knock this down, because it was as high as this area here, or hopefully not as tall as that weed there, because that one's at least 8 feet tall. But yeah, that's going to be a problem. That's a battle I'm not winning against her, because if you pile up weeds like this or tree limbs like this anywhere near the wilderness, the snakes think that now the wilderness is all the way to here, and the snakes love being near downed wood. So every time we come out here, that's why I'm not going to get any closer to the plants to show you, is because there could be, you know, snakes in here, and we do have some poisonous ones out here that look just like wood. It's really crazy. So I'm not going to walk out there and show you, but yeah, this wood is going to be an ongoing battle. If it doesn't break down, I'll just wait till my wife leaves for some time to go do a woman's thing with the church group or something, and I'll just take all the trees and throw them into the woods again or something and get rid of them. But we'll see. Anyway, that's our garden tour for this week. A nice catch up, because we haven't done a video in quite a while. I know I always say short. It's probably not short. It's probably 20 minutes long by now. But also, it's just beautiful to see what God has blessed us with. Like I said, we don't have a lot. We only have 5 acres, but for the 5 acres, it it is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. Love living out here. Love the quiet. Love that we're able to do this kind of gardening. You know, even compared to a lot of people out here, this is a small garden. It's only like 55 by 70 in the fenced-in area here. It is just so relaxing, so much fun, and we enjoy it so much. We're just truly blessed by it. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave comments in the bottom. Shout outs to the people that I watched for theirs. Gardner and MI. Love her stuff, especially the keyhole garden things. There's a couple other people that I watch. I'm trying to think of their names off the top of my head, and you know, when you get old you forget these things. But Nichols Retirement Empire, love his garden updates. He actually has like flowers and stuff as well as he's growing. And he does his 2 different locations, his Georgia and his Florida stuff as well. So if you guys like that kind of thing, you know, check their videos out as well. Alright, thanks a lot. Talk to you later.